Some of the best mysteries aren't in detective novels. They're hidden in plain sight, sometimes in just a few lines of poetry. And today, we're going to put on our detective hats and investigate one of the most haunting little cases in all of English literature, William Blake's The Sick Rose. It's an 8-line tragedy, and we're about to dive in and see what clues we can find. So here it is. This is our scene of the crime. I want you to listen really closely to this. O Rose, thou art sick. The invisible worm that flies in the night, in the howling storm, has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark secret love does thy life destroy. Seriously, every single word in there is a piece of evidence. And trust me, we're going to examine all of it. All right, so where do we start? Well, like any good detective, we start with the basics. And our first clue is actually the structure of the poem itself. It's a really simple form, but as you're about to see, it's hiding a very, very dark secret. Just look at this contrast. On the surface, this poem feels like a simple little children's rhyme, right? It's got 2 short stanzas, a kind of musical rhythm. But underneath that innocent surface, you've got this deeply adult, dark message about decay and corruption and death. What Blake does here is just brilliant. He uses this simple form to create this really chilling, unsettling feeling. It's kind of like hearing a nursery rhyme playing in the background of a horror movie. You just know something is wrong. Okay, so every mystery has its key players, and this one is no different. So let's get to know the characters in this little tragedy, our victim and our villain. So on one side, we have our victim, the rose. And this is a classic, right? The rose symbolizes love, beauty, innocence, all that good stuff. You can think of it as the human soul, totally pure. But then, on the other side, we've got our villain, the worm. And this is the creepy part. It's not just any worm. It's invisible. It stands for all those things we can't see, secret sin, hidden corruption, this nasty, destructive desire that just works in the shadows. All right, we've got our characters. Now it's time to get into the forensics of this thing. We're going to look at the specific words Blake uses, treat them like evidence, and figure out exactly how this crime went down. And wow, Blake really lays out the crime scene for us, doesn't he? This whole thing doesn't happen on some sunny afternoon. No, it's in the night, a time for secrets and fear. And not just any night, but during a howling storm, which just screams emotional chaos, right? Then the worm finds the rose's bed of crimson joy. What a phrase. It captures both the beauty of passion and also its vulnerability, maybe even its danger. And the weapon? Get this, it's the worm's dark, secret love. This is the crucial part. This isn't love. It's something twisted that pretends to be love, a corrupting force that just destroys life from the inside out. So how in the world does Blake pack so much punch into just 8 lines? Well, he's got this toolkit of poetic devices he uses. First, he starts with what's called an apostrophe, that "O Rose." He's talking to the rose, which makes it feel like this desperate emotional cry for help. Then there's personification. He gives the rose a human problem, it's sick, and he gives the worm a human emotion, love. And that brings us to the most bitter irony of all. The one thing we think of as creating life and joy, love, is the very thing that destroys the rose. It's just devastating. Okay, so we've got our victim, our villain, we've looked at the evidence, but that leaves the biggest question in any investigation. What's the motive? Why did this happen? To figure that out, we have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. And it turns out the motive is all about context. See, this isn't just some random poem. It comes from Blake's super famous collection called Songs of Experience. And that entire collection is about one thing: exploring the harsh, messy realities of life, the world after innocence is gone. And boom, that's the core of it right there. The Sick Rose is a poem about the fall from innocence. It's about how something pure and beautiful, like love, can be corrupted by secrets and lies. Blake is basically saying that innocence, our rose, is tragically fragile. It just can't survive in a world where hidden sin, the worm, is lurking around. This is a huge statement he's making. He's saying the human soul is always vulnerable to these invisible evils, and that, often, society itself plays a part in destroying the very purity it says it values. So, we've examined all the evidence, we've uncovered the motive. Now it's time to deliver the final verdict in our investigation. Let's talk about the poem's timeless warning for all of us. So, the verdict is in. The Sick Rose is more than just a sad story. It's a universal, timeless warning. It's about how fragile beauty is and how absolutely devastating secrecy can be. What Blake is telling us, loud and clear, is that the most beautiful things in life, love, innocence, the soul itself, are incredibly vulnerable. And if you let corruption and secrets fester in the dark, they will, without a doubt, destroy that beauty from the inside out. And that leaves us with one last kind of haunting question to think about. I mean, Blake wrote this poem over 200 years ago, but doesn't its warning feel more relevant today than ever? So here's the question for you. What are the invisible worms in our world today? What are the secret corruptions, the hidden lies, the unspoken evils that threaten beauty and innocence right now? That is definitely something worth thinking about.